that alcoholics in particular carried a unique spiritual wound. He saw that their addiction was not about the alcohol itself. It was about the desperate attempt to touch something transcendent, something beyond the mundane reality that felt too small for their souls. They drank to feel connected, to feel alive, to feel anything other than the suffocating emptiness of a world without magic. But here is the twist. The addiction itself becomes the barrier. The very thing you use to satisfy your thirst becomes the thing that keeps you thirsty. You drink to feel whole, but the drinking fractures you further. You chase the high to escape the pain, but the high deepens the pain. It is a paradox, a cruel cycle that seems designed to break you. Yet Jung insisted this was intentional. This cycle is not random chaos. It is a divine mechanism, a spiritual test designed specifically for those strong enough to endure it. God does not speak to everyone through addiction because not everyone needs this particular lesson. But for those who do, the message is always the same. What you seek outside yourself can only be found within. The thirst you feel is real. But you have been looking in the wrong direction. You have been trying to satisfy a spiritual need with material solutions. You have been trying to fill a God-shaped hole with things that can never fit. And every time you try, the hole grows larger, the thirst grows stronger, and you feel more lost than before. This is where most people give up. They see the endless cycle and conclude they are broken, cursed, unworthy. But Jung saw something different. He saw that the intensity of your craving is proportional to the depth of your calling. The more you suffer, the greater your potential for awakening. The thirst that cannot be quenched is not your punishment. It is your preparation. God speaks to his chosen ones through this impossible hunger, because only through it can they learn the most important truth. Nothing in this world will ever be enough. Not success, not love, not power, not pleasure, nothing. And once you truly understand this, once you stop fighting it and start listening to it, the thirst begins to transform. It stops being about filling yourself and starts being about emptying yourself. It stops being about escape and starts being about encounter. The craving that once drove you to destruction becomes the doorway to something you never imagined possible, a direct connection to the divine source that has been calling you all along. But you cannot reach this point while you are still fighting. You cannot hear the message while you are still drowning in guilt and shame. You must first accept that your addiction is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your guide, the thorn in your flesh that will not let you rest until you finally turn inward and face what you have been running from. The thirst will never be quenched by anything outside you. That is the brutal truth Jung understood. But here is the hope. It was never meant to be. The thirst is the call. The craving is the invitation. And your addiction is the only thing powerful enough to force you to finally answer. You have tried to quit 1,000 times. You have promised yourself, promised others, maybe even promised God that this time would be different. And yet you fell again, and again, and again. Each relapse feels like proof of your failure.